Hello, this is Sauce. Welcome back. Today the video is a analysis of the matchup between Thief and Warrior. These are both extremely popular World v World and PvP classes, and it can be a good fight. I'll break the video down into the Thief section first, followed by the Warrior in the second half. I've got about 7 key points for both. I'll go through and show you some video examples. So let's get started here. Tip number 1, use stealth and teleports to confuse warriors. So the big thing you want to do in the dagger pistol set is you want to use the number 5 to drop the smoke field, combo it, and then that'll open up your backstabs. Also, the shadow step is useful for making the warrior change directions, making him miss. Tip number 2, land your steal and backstab. Stealing is a great way to get boons. It gives you fury, might, and swiftness, as well as regeneration. And it does good damage with the backstab. It doesn't interrupt, and it strips boons from the warrior. It can strip up to 5 boons with an interrupt and the sigil of absorption. The damage is good for putting the warrior into their invulns quickly, and you can finish off a warrior quickly as well with a good backstab. Alright, tip number 3, work the blinds. The big thing with this tip is to use the blinds to counter the warrior's great cleave ability. Warriors have some limited Condi clear, but being able to blind the warrior pretty much at will with the Thief's abilities allows you to negate a lot of their potential damage. So you're going to want to use the number 3 Shadow Shot ability with the Dagger Pistol, or the number 5 Smoke Field, or the Special Utility Smoke Field. Those all will apply the blinds successfully. Tip number 4 is avoid the full counter. The full counter is a bright yellow glowing aura around the warrior. It's very dangerous. It'll interrupt you, and it will do substantial damage. It'll interrupt if you're using the F2 stolen skill from the warrior. It won't interrupt the dagger storm, but avoid it at all costs. Tip number 5, avoid stuns. The warriors can chain stun thieves and pretty much insta down. You saw in the opening sequence of the video where I was able to Bull's Rush, Shield Bash, and then combo with the Arcing Slice, and it pretty much one-shot a thief. It's the greatest weakness for the thief, the stuns, because they will fuck you up. Tip number 6, get through the invulns quickly. You want to make the warrior use his invulnerabilities as quickly as possible to give you more time to attack. The main one is Endure Pain. This will block all type of physical attacks. It will not block condition attacks. Second is Full Counter. This is one of the most important skills of Spellbreaker. If you attack while this aura is up, it will interrupt you. It's the big yellow aura. It's super important for the Spellbreaker. Avoid it. Next is the Shield Stance. The Shield Stance is interruptible with Steel, but it will block all other types of attacks. And lately I've been seeing a lot of warriors running Defiant Stance. This is more of a Zerg skill, but it will convert damage into healing, so watch out for that. Tip 7, blind or shadow step for a safe stomp. Firstly, I'll show you the shadow step stomp as you finish them off. You're going to go ahead and initiate the stomp, shadow stamp away, back, and you get the stomp easily, avoiding any interrupt. In slow motion here. Come back right as you're going down, and a nice clean finish. Very safe. The other safe way to do it is to blind, stealth with the Heartseeker, and then go for the stomp and stealth. Obviously that could be interrupted by other players if you're in that situation. And in a duel, you're not going to have that happen. In slow motion again here, I like to move to the side to avoid anything that might have already been casted. But there you have it, folks. On to Warrior now. Alright, let's get started on the Warrior. So the Warrior, tip number 1 is going to be constantly apply pressure. The Warrior has a big advantage in vitality, toughness, armor against the Thief. You want to be able to use that to your advantage as best as possible. The best way to do that is to constantly be gap closing against the Thief, constantly be putting pressure and forcing the Thief to use their skills that allow them to get away, dodge. The Daredevil, for instance, does have the 3 dodges, so it's more than the average class, but with good chain gap closing, you can really put big pressure on the thief. A couple warrior attacks can put the thief in low health, which may cause them to panic altogether. A lot of thieves, when they take a little bit of damage, they'll completely just wig out and go crazy, fleeing, using all their skills. It's actually a good idea to save your stun combo for a situation where you can double stun the thief, because at that point you can pretty much finish them off in one hit if they've got no other evasion skills available. The big one for the thief is going to be the shadow step. That'll pretty much get them out of any bad situation. Once they burn that, they've got a long cooldown on that. Finally, with this topic, always keep the cleave up even when you can't see the thief. They will be there, and some random attacks can hit and damage them. All that adds up. Tip number 2 is avoid the steal. Like we talked about with thief, the steal gives the thief very valuable boons, and it can steal boons from the warrior. You want to avoid it. The big tell is going to be when they stealth. They'll want to combo the steal with the backstab, so them disappearing is a good indication that the steal is incoming. You can look to counter that with a block or an invul. On Daredevil, the steal is unblockable. Tip number 3, land your stuns and combo with your big damage skills. What you want to do here is wait for the thief to get close, get a nice bull's charge, combo it with the shield bash, so you get a lengthy stun. Both of those skills also do decent damage, and then combo with either an arcing slice or an eviscerate or both, and you can pretty much one-shot the thief in this situation. This is the best way probably to kill the thief, and they will die very quickly in this method. Tip number 4, time dodges to avoid thief burst. The big thing to avoiding the thief damage is that it will all come in short bursts. If you can predict when that's going to come, you can block or dodge and avoid big chunks of their damage. This really puts them at a big disadvantage, especially if you're using Signet for healing. You'll be able to keep your health at a very comfortable level while they're having trouble doing damage. As you learn to read the thief's movements a lot more and recognize the stealth coming and the backstabber steal coming, then you'll be able to predict when their big damage burst is coming, and you'll be able to dodge it. Tip number 5, cleave instead of stomping. I see a lot of players, when they down a thief, they go for the stomp. The thief can waste a lot of time by moving. It's going to shadow step when it's in down state. Then it'll be able to stealth. So I see a lot of players try to stomp once, they miss because the thief moves. Try to stomp again, the thief stealths. Then they try it again for a third time. This time the shadow step might be back up again, they might be able to move again, and they kind of get toyed around a bit. The best thing to do, thief has the low HP pool in Guild Wars. Best thing to do is just use your damage skills, cleave it out. It'll die very quickly, and you can move on and either get a res from the down, or you win the fight, that situation. But thief is one of the most difficult classes to stomp outright. So if they want to play with you, they can definitely do it when they're in down state, so watch out for that. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. I hope these tips help you a lot when you're out there doing duels or just fighting in general in World v World and PvP. If you have any questions, just let me know down in the comments. Of course, there are other things I might have left off. If you want to add any details as well, that's super useful, so just add those in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. See you next time.